Rav Sharkey says that there's lessons from this war with Amalek. Says the Jewish people fought against Canaanim, Sefer Bamidbar. Chazal, that's the first time Chazal say it. This enemy isn't really Canaan, it's Amalek, just like in other times. A strange enemy, it's Amalek. It says that these Amalekites or Canaanites took captive. Vayishbi Menushevi. He says that what's the reaction to this? Pidyon Shavuim is always a policy for the exile. What's Pidyon Shavuim? The Jews in Carthage, the Jews in Spain, the Jews in Rome, somewhere in Italy, the Jews in Greece find a boat show up and has slave traders, and lo and behold, there's a Jewish slave on the boat. Okay, they've taken him captive, and so they're going to buy the slave, basically redeem him in order to set him free. That's Pidyon Shvuyim, or even sometimes it happened in the land of Israel. Let's say Jaffa in the year 205, okay, early Talmudic times. So a slaver comes with a captured Jew from somewhere in the West, all the way as far as Spain. So there's a mitzvah then to pay for him, redeem him, no more than his value on the slave market, of course, so that they don't come to just kidnap Jews for this purpose. So he says this is a policy in the exile. When Israel is a nation, the mitzvah is to rescue by force, like what happened in this war. Vayishbi Menushevi, so Vayidar Yisrael Neder Lemor. So Israel swore to God, take a vow. God, I'll give you a chayrim of these people. We won't take spoils. We'll destroy everything that these people have in order to rescue our captives. So that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's what we're supposed to be doing now. Too many people look at this question right now, bring them home at all costs, right? Pidyon Shavuyim is not an option right now. If you have a sovereign state, you have to act like it. That's the problem. We're not acting like we're sovereign in any way. So what we're supposed to do is fight to redeem the whoever we can. It'd be great to get them back, but obviously something's not being done right. You see, they're talking about 100 days war, right? In the olden days, how long did wars go on for? When you wanted to win? No, it's the Jewish people.
Well, like battles.
Yeah.
Last.
Well, when you have a world war, so it's over a course of a lot of time in armies. When you're talking about the size of this war, just the front, the one place where it's a real hot war. Yeah, right now it's been dragging on for so long. There's so many people mobilized. It's mamish slow. You know why it's going so slow. You know the reason. So, but what Rav Sharkey is saying here is very important. What Rav Sharkey has basically said is that people look at this as the Pidyon Shavuyim question. Many rabbis look at this, redeem and what's the prices. He says there is no thing. Pidyon Shavuyim is not on the table now because that's a totally different question. And he's bringing out a point about Torat Eretz Yisrael. Torat Eretz Yisrael, like the rabbi is trying to teach people, isn't just a system of psak. Okay, it's not like open up Bar-Hayim of the Shulchan Aruch or Yoredeya and say, well, this is the way they used to do in the Gullus, and if you look in the Yerushalmi some more and read more of the sources and get more in touch with the way the Vilna Gaon and the Rambam would learn it, you come to a different conclusion. That's fine. And that's not the Ikar. That's deciding dry halacha. In exile mode Judaism, as he calls it, the Jewish people do not exist as sovereign. They're not a sovereign people. And that is why you could have the TED editor, as we saw years ago, claiming about the disengagement that was not a matter of halacha. Right? It's not. I can't find the Shulchan Aruch. By the way, you could find the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch is against it. It's an Bar-Hayim. It's in the laws of Tainus. But he forgot about that. But for him, that's not one of the yeshivish things they learn. And their way of practicing Judaism, which is limited to what? If you live in a normal place, let's say standard Jewish community, and at least you're observant, Judaism is something you do in the synagogue and at home, but not in the street. And if you're zochet to live in Lakewood, then you could even in the street be Jewish. But it doesn't exist anywhere beyond your neighborhood. There's no national Judaism. So we could say like disengagement, that's not a matter of halacha. The graves, how you deal with the cemeteries in Gaza, that's one thing. But to leave Gaza or not and destroy the communities, that's not part of our vision at all. There's nothing in the Torah about going to pray at Har Bayit either. You could be like that callous rabbi, Callous, who confidently declared that all the Sparm in this base matters, none of them extol the virtues of praying at God's chosen place, even if there's no mikdash. So you never read the book of Tehillim. Totally missed, clear halachas. So yeah, you lose it. Or the chief rabbi can say that any endeavor, any shakla discussion about rebuilding the temple, restoring the temple service is forbidden. Why? Because that's not part of their Judaism. You do not have the Yalkut Yosef and the Yaviyah Omer and the don't talk about halachas of building a temple or bring korbanos. So that's not part of their Judaism, right? The big picture.
There's something like
What?
you can't prove a negative. So
You can't prove a negative. Okay,
fact
so
that many rabbis in the past didn't write about something that didn't relate to their community at the time because they had
Yeah.
no chance to even go to the Har-Bite.
it doesn't mean it doesn't
Why does
exist.
that prove
It doesn't
that
exist.
it's then forbidden to even talk about it?
But not only that,
Because they didn't say in any of
But
these
it does
stories that
exist.
I'm aware of that any of these rabbis in the past said it was forbidden. We can't do that. If you can't, I understand that they take
Yeah.
things from other places and say, oh, yes, we have to wait for Mashiach, we have to push the Geulah and things like that. Of course, they misunderstood that as well.
Yeah.
See how they can prove that you
Well,
shouldn't do it just because it's not written.
not only that, it just means they haven't opened up the books that they have.
Because there are books that say, yes, you should be doing that.
Yes,
But there's no books that say
shouldn't. Yes, there's no. That's why last week I corrected the Mishnah Torah. That way that will fit what we were saying, but it doesn't say that. Okay, so that's a problem. Or what do you call it? You could have this is on the Haredi side. If you don't believe in Torah Eretz Yisrael, you're going to end up like all these. Those people exist in the Haredi land. Or what about religious Lapid voters? We're going to talk about them again. Okay, Judaism is something limited to, davening, what you do in the house. But it was kashrus. Thank God in the house they observe kashrus, nida, and Shabbos. I hope, right? But they don't have Judaism does not inform how to run the country, and if it does, it's just like doing what we feel is right, but it has nothing to really. They're totally disconnected with the big picture. Torah Eretz Yisrael is telling you. I think Rav Cherki is a good example of a person who tries to live this and teach this. The Torah actually teaches you how to run a government. The Torah actually does inform certain political situations. The Torah does tell a prime minister and a chief of staff and an army what to do. And the problem is they're not doing any of it. And the worse is they look at maybe rabbinic figures for guidance in these things, and the rabbinic figures have no guidance to give them because to them, their Judaism does not have anything to say about this.
the people that supposedly believe Torah was given by God to us as so we know how to live in this world. Why do they think that it's missing some things? So we'll just ignore it. It doesn't say anything.
Okay, yeah, it's a problem. Either way, Torah Eretz Yisrael should have a lot more. Does have a lot to say, and teaches you how to make war. Have one central place of worship. You're supposed to have a religious hierarchy, and they're completely disconnected. We have to reconnect.